Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to another live expert workshop with one of our amazing experts as part of the 21-day content habit challenge. I am, for those of you who are watching me in the last live, I'm going to try not to say hobbit instead of habit. That's my main aim. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Bona Rai. I am one of the co-founders of Capshow, and we have the immense pleasure of hosting this challenge with our amazing friends at Ecamm. So hello to the Ecamm fam who are watching along as well. And say hi in the comments. We want to make sure that we make this a super interactive thing. Let me know where you're watching from, what your biggest win from the challenge has been, and we'll keep it rolling. Hello, everyone. All right, cool. So before we get into today's session with an awesome expert, Joe Casabona, just a couple more things about the challenge. So for those of you who are playing along, you know that we are now officially over the halfway mark. We are just almost at the end of week 2, but it's not too late to join if you would like to join us. We've been building a daily content habit for the last week and a half, and we are going to keep going for the rest of this week and next week. And if you are playing along as part of the challenge and you haven't had a look at your challenge hub yet, make sure you go ahead and do that. You can scan this QR code to find your challenge hub that will have all of the information that you need, including the schedule on the expert workshops like this, as well as everything else we have going on. And it will also have all of the information you need around amazing things like the prizes you can win. So we are making really, really cool prizes, everything from books from my co-founder Deidre, and one of our amazing experts, Katie Brinkley, as well as very limited edition merch, and some very cool prizes from our partners. So make sure you are playing along. And of course, what is kind of winning without something to show off? We also have some cool badges that you can win for showing up every day and every week. So as we are in week 2, we are going to be, you have the ability to win your week 2 badge by doing all of the things for week 2. So just a really quick reminder of all of those things. Sorry, I'm just reading the comments and getting distracted. All right. And finally, I do want to talk about the Content Doodle Doo spotlight for the day. And today, the spotlight is on the marvelous Mitzi. So Mitzi has been showing up for this challenge every single day. She has been phenomenal in collaborating with her fellow challenge takers, and she has been showing up even when she's had some technical issues and things like that, and her content has been looking really amazing. So congratulations, Mitzi. Thank you for inspiring us as part of this challenge, and we look forward to seeing what else you create for the rest of the challenge. All right, so let's get into it. I am really exceptionally excited to share this next little video with you. It was a piece of pre-recorded content that Joe Casabona actually recorded for us. And before he did this training, I caught up with Joe because I'm always really excited to see what he's using, because he's a systems expert. And I love systems experts because systems make life easier so that we can focus on the things that, only we can do, like our creative pursuits, our deep thinking, our strategy, a strategic work. So Joe works specifically with solopreneurs. His whole thing is that he helps you get at least 12 hours back per week, which is 12 hours you could be spending either on your content, on your business, with your family, with self-care, whatever is actually needed right now. And I just love that that's what he helps people do. He helps content creators implement these systems, and he's always really testing out different tools and different workflows. So when he told us about this workflow that he has, where he basically takes a 20-minute live stream that he's done using a tool like Ecamm and turns it into 20 pieces of content, I really had to know about it. So Joe has put together this training. He's literally going to share his screen as well and show you step by step. So make sure you're taking notes. And as you have the questions, please do make sure you're dropping them in the comments. If I can answer them, because I've already spoken to Joe about it, I will absolutely do that. But if not, I will get him to pop in here and answer your questions for you as well. So this is a very, very active learning experience. So make sure that you're paying attention, taking notes, and asking questions along the way. All right. So without further ado, this is Joe Casabona.
hardest things about video production is having to set up your recording and then actually do the recording and then edit it and then figure out the best way to come up with assets to share it. Well, today I'm going to show you how I record an ongoing video series I'm doing called 3 Things in Podcasting, and I'm going to show you how I use Ecamm Live and CapShow so that I barely have to do any editing on either the actual video or the assets I create. Let's get started. Okay, so usually I would share my screen at this point to show you what I'm working on, but I don't even really need to do that. Well, you know what? I will, to show you the document I'm working from. This is a note in Obsidian called 3 Things in Podcasting, and you can see I kind of have my archive here. I have a general pool of stories I'm pulling from, and then I have the stuff that I want to do for the date. So this episode will be released on July 12th. And these are the stories I want to cover. It was a big news week in podcasting, which is maybe a little bit strange for the week after the 4th of July. So, anyway, these are the 3 stories, and then these are stories that I can pull from when I need it. I do have a little shortcut set up so that I can easily save links with this information so that when I'm ready to record, I can just kind of look at the general pool and pull these stories up into whatever I want to talk about. Now, the way I do it is you can see I have this scene here. This shows the 3 stories I want to talk about. And so I will modify these kind of in real time. I'll modify these so that I can have these show up during the stream. So you can, so you can see I'm showing everything here. So this is a little bit tricky because I won't be able to show everything while I'm modifying this, but I'm going to change the text on this to be, let's see, YouTube #1 in podcasting, ? All right, and then you can see that kind of shrinks here based on the size. Maybe I want to do YouTube #1 player so that it extends a little bit here. The second is Indie Podcast Awards, or maybe Earworthy, since Independent Podcast Awards is something different. And then shrink that. And then the third one is Spotify comments. If I could type. Okay, so I've got the text here for each of these. This is, the unevenness here. Something I need to fix. I need to adjust a little bit, but that's good. Like this, and then evenly space them, and now I can extend this box so that they look a lot nicer here. Sometimes the titles are just long and I can't do anything about it, but I do want to make these kind of evenly spaced. Okay, so this is how I have it set up. So normally what I'll do now is I'll start in this view right here. I will move to this view, and then I will bring up the stories in a separate recording browser, so I can show you that here. So I have the recording browser where I can choose to only show the stories I want to show. I'll make these bigger. And I will link to the final result of this as well. So the purpose of this video is to show you how I put this all together in Ecamm Live. But this is the general flow, right? I'll start. I have these buttons on my Stream Deck, by the way. If I open up the Stream Deck app, you can see I'm usually switching between these 3 buttons. This is the main view. This is the screen share view. So this is the main view. This is the screen share view. And then this is the 3 things view. And I can just easily switch between these three. Now, if I have a I don't know if I have a promo. Or, I want to maybe show the lower third before I get into all of it. But this view is really the one where it's at. And then when I'm ready to talk about the story, I'll bring it up here where I can kind of show what I'm talking about on screen. So the point of this format is that I've probably read these stories already and I've selected them to talk about them on three things. And setting all of this up, especially this view here in Ecamm Live, means that I could talk about this, show the story, and I can basically get a one shot, right? If I mess up, I will go into an app called Recut and just cut those parts. I will throw it into Isotope RX to kind of de-breath. I like the de heavy breathing stuff. But as far as doing like full-on video editing, adding overlays and things like that and transitions, I don't need to do any of that because I have all of this set up in Ecamm Live. So what I'm going to do from here is I am going to record that video and then I will come back with the final result, and I'm going to upload that to Capshow so you can see the second half of this. And I'll let you know, I haven't shot that yet. I just set this all up. I wanted to show you how to do it. So when I come back, I'll let you know how much editing I really had to do for that episode, so that we can really get a full view of just how streamlined this process is thanks to Ecamm Live on the front or the recording end, and then Capshow on the sharing or shareable assets end. So I just recorded. I didn't have to do any editing except for like mouth declick and like some audio processing that I do on all of my podcasts, or usually my editor does. But for like my solo shows, I'll do that myself. Yeah, so let me bring up my screen here now. And I will log into Capshow Next Gen. And then we'll get going. So, okay, I'm going to upload a new file. Drag and drop. I'll drag and drop, I guess. This is just the audio I need to upload. So let's do that. And so we're going to call this Spotify adds comments, 3 things in podcasting. Okay, so we'll upload that. This content is my own. Choose a persona. I've already set up the persona and stuff. This does not have guests. We don't have to exclude the intro because it's very short. So now Capshow is going to upload this, and we'll get to processing it. Okay, so it's processing. This might take some time. I might, kind of skip over this and come back later, which in Ecamm Live, very easy to just pause this video and wait for something else to happen so I don't have to cut out a bunch of dead air. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll be back when I have to do the next thing, which is Capshow will kind of ask me, like, hey, tell me a little bit more about this episode. And then it'll come up with a bunch of assets based on my answers. Okay, our upload is complete, and it is time to start generating some content. I'm going to click Get Started. Okay, so choose a topic, podcasting trends, earworthy indie podcasts. So this is interesting, right? Because it's kind of taking each topic separately. I can also customize the topic here. I like that it gives me some like SEO scores because I want Spotify adding comments to be the main focus. Like that's what the title of the episode is going to be. I'm going to choose that. Click next. The premise: Spotify's new comment features allow direct listener feedback. Comments foster a sense of community. Responding to comments is an effective way. Comments offer insight. Spotify's level the playing field for indie podcasters. It's really like this part. So I'll go next and then customize CTA. Capsule will create social media posts. So it could be like comment below for a link to the episode. But I'm just going to make it go listen, or maybe sign up for the mail. No, listen to the episode. So I'll put that in and apply changes. Okay, so topic and premise have been added. So by default, when I configured this, I kind of chose like I want a LinkedIn post and a podcast, but if I click through, so Spotify adds comments, title and description, generating. As things get generated, we'll see a pencil icon added over here so that we can click through and modify as needed, right? So let's do was this the tip post? Yeah. In the ever-evolving world of podcasting, the ability to receive. Okay, yeah. So game changer. So this is good. I would modify this a little bit, right? I probably wouldn't say ever-evolving world. I'd probably say. Also, you can just edit right on this screen. It's super great. One of the hardest things for podcasters to do is receive direct feedback from your audience. It allows you to tailor your content. Spotify's new comment presents a golden opportunity. I like that. You can leverage these comments. Yeah, so I think this is real. This is great. I'm going to use this as is. Like, mark this as complete. It's ready to go. And that also trains Capsho on future things. So let's see what titles it came up with. I'm really interested in this. So let's see, navigating. Oh, so this is like title and description. So I can choose a couple, right? Navigating podcast landscape, gears, accolades, and engagement. I think I want the unveiling podcast insights, hardware, appreciation, Spotify's foray. And then their AI recommends this first one. So I want my title to be a little bit more direct than this. So I'm gonna go with just a very direct title. But this is a good description, right? This is something I'm gonna copy this almost as is, as the description for the episode, right? This is a little long. So like feeling overwhelmed by the constant change in the podcasting world, you're not alone. I like this. Fear not. In this insightful episode, will unravel. I wouldn't say unravel the mysteries. Again, I'm pretty direct in this, right? Maybe this episode like wasn't a great example of like flourishy writing because it's just like a news episode, but I'm probably gonna modify this a little bit to say, let's hear. That's why. All right, so that's almost what I said at the beginning. First, we'll take a look at a survey of podcasting gear and software. So there's a lot, so I'm just going to get rid of all of this. Then we'll shine a spot. I like to shine a spotlight, actually. Finally, we'll look at Spotify's game-changing move to introduce comments on podcasting episodes. So that's pretty good. Here's what you can expect to gain from this engaging episode: insider knowledge on the most popular podcasting gear, inspiration from Trailblazing Indie Podcast. Okay, that's not true. That's just based on the training I've given it. So I wouldn't end it that way either. But I like this, right? This is more than I would have written, but also there's a lot more context here for would-be listeners, right? Because one of the goals of the description is to get people to listen. So this is good. I'm going to mark this as done, as complete. And so now I have a couple of assets, right? So that was my main goal here. Capshow did me a huge favor of not having to sift through. I guess the other thing I should show you here is I can also create new assets, so social media posts for Instagram, newsletter, lots of really good stuff here for us to generate, right? And again, I had to do just like minor editing here on some of the written text, and I'll be using this for the episode, which as I record this goes out in a couple of days, but as you're seeing it is probably out already. So you can find it over at show.podcastworkflows.com. But that's it for this video. In it, I showed you how I set up Ecamm Live so that I can so that I can make a video and barely have to edit it at all. I'm releasing it as a podcast episode too. And then how I'm leveraging Capshow to do a lot of the writing in broad strokes for the description and social media posts for these episodes, because that's not something I do super effectively well. And having that starting point for me is super important. So I made some edits, and every time I edit, Capshow learns. And I'm excited because the more I use Capshow, the better it'll write for me. And I think that's the most exciting part for me. So definitely check both of those out. Thanks so much for watching. And until next time, I'll see you out there.
Amazing. All right, everyone, please join me in thanking Joe in the comments. He will be checking them like Paul has mentioned. And hi, Tatiana. Thanks for joining. That was a pre-recorded training that Joe did. You can see that he took a few breaks so that he could keep all that edited out for you. But that's essentially his workflow that he's been experimenting with. As you saw there, he's still kind of, Capshow still getting to learn his tone of voice. So we get this question all the time, like how long does it take Capshow to learn? And I would say you want to give it about 4 to 5 uploads to be on the more conservative side. So I think Joe's up to his 3rd potentially. So whatever edits he made there, it's going to continue to learn from it. But that's part of the process. So hopefully, given that it's saving you time on all of the drafting side of things, it gives you the time to actually properly engage with your content and edit it and get it ready for publishing. So basically that was all we had in store for you today. Hopefully this is something that you've been trialing as part of the challenge, is to record on Ecamm every week and basically put that into Capshow, basically just the way that Joe's shown you. If you haven't had an opportunity yet, that's totally fine. We still have lots of opportunity to do so. So make sure you give it a go. If you have any specific questions as it relates to Ecamm, as you know, the Ecamm team are in the group, and they are some of the most helpful people I've ever met. And I don't even exaggerate on that. So they'll definitely be there on hand to help you with that. And of course, if you are super cool with the recording side and you need a bit of help to walk through the steps that Joe just did, I know there were a few things that he skipped, like setting up your persona and things like that. If you need help with that, definitely let us know in the group as well, because the Capshow team's in there to help you do all of that. And if you have any questions, make sure to drop them. I'll get Joe to hop in there and address them for you, just so that you are ready to go with your workflow to create 20 pieces of content from your live streams. All right, just do a final check. If there's no other comments, I will wish you a very, very good afternoon or evening, depending on where you are. I don't think morning. And I will see you at the next session. We will be having Stacey Lauren on live. She is an amazing community builder. She'll be showing you how to build a thriving Facebook community and basically how to get your first 100 fans and build this a beautiful community. So she will be live with us. So that's going to be the next session where I'll be interviewing her, and you're going to learn a ton. So thank you everyone for joining. I hope you have a great rest of your day with your content creation and marketing, and we will see you very soon. Bye everyone.